What's Up Wake is presented by Ting Internet, now available in Holly Springs and Wake Forest.
Hi there, and welcome to What's Up Wake.
Spend your day is the only way. Take a break with What's Up Wake. Ooh, What's Up Wake?
Presented by the publishers of Carey Magazine, Wake Living, and Main and Broad, What's Up Wake covers the people, places, restaurants, and events, essentially all the cool stuff and great news of Wake County. I'm your host, Melissa Wistahuff. Join me as we find out what's up Wake. Welcome to the greatest show on turf. From lighting up the scoreboard at Carter Finley Stadium during his years at NC State to shining under the bright lights in the NFL, Torry Holt has built a career thrilling fans. These days, he's traded cleats for hard hats and touchdowns for community work, proving that building legacies isn't just about yards gained, but lives changed. I'll admit that I might fumble this conversation if it was solely based on my football knowledge, but I personally came to know the Holt brothers for all the good they've done post-football, making this interview my number one draft pick for What's Up Wake. It's no coincidence that we're dropping this episode on Giving Tuesday, a day in which we're all called to put our holiday shopping aside and put some goodness out into the world. I couldn't think of a better person that has given back to our community than my guest today. Please welcome NC State legend, St. Louis Rams phenom.
Keep going.
Co-owner of Holt Brothers Construction.
Keep going.
And co-founder of Holt Brothers Foundation. Big game, Torry Holt. And Torry brought along his plus one, the incredible executive director of Holt Brothers Foundation, Liz McLean. Welcome, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I was telling you as you came in that this was the one episode that my husband invited himself to come see.
Of course.
He went to NC State when you were playing at NC State, so I told him no.
That's right.
Sorry, bud.
Punish him.
Maybe next time. Yeah. Okay, Torry, I might get kicked off my team if I don't start this interview a little bit about football, even though it's not my forte. As a lifelong NC State fan, what would you consider to be the most steadfast, loyal, loud, and very serious fans? Wolfpack or Rams?
Wolfpack, hands down.
Gotta be.
The atmosphere here is electric, and we have Duke, we have Carolina, we have Wake Forest, we have so many schools.
Tobacco Road.
Road, and the fandom for athletics here in the Carolinas, particularly here in Raleigh, is unbelievable. So yes, I will give that nod to NC State. Now, St. Louis was awesome. Mm-hmm. They revere their sports figures. They know ball, same as the folks here in the South, same as the folks here in NC State. But I got to give that nod to the Wolfpack.
Yeah. And I would say that there's probably nothing like, I mean, I can only imagine in any way, but running out of the tunnel of NC State for an ACC matchup on a Saturday night versus probably any stadium in the country.
Yeah.
It's just got to be so unique and so magical.
Electric. A sea of red. I think back to my days at NC State when we played Syracuse on a Thursday night, and that was Donovan McNabb, who was a Heisman Trophy candidate. They came in here, we bust that butt and got that win. And the night was just insane. From tailgating to the end of that ball game was just the best I've ever seen. And all of our night games, even this past homecoming game against Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
That team, that's the team that everybody wants to see every single weekend.
Yeah.
But that was a night game, and we have in the past have just risen to a whole nother level in those night games. We have the light show, the fans are crazy. They're there, it's packed,
the
it's
fans
loud.
have been tailgating all day.
It's on TV, which is a primetime game, and we have the Wolfpack in history has shown those games we have stepped up.
Yeah, they're going to have to start volleying to have every game be a nighttime game for NC State at this point.
I'm sure the coaches will love for it to be that way. If they're going to play the way they played against Georgia Tech consistently every night, and it's that night, they will sign up for that right now if they could.
And now we're getting into basketball season. I'm a basketball fan, have been for a long time. So I'm hoping that this new team that has been put together is going to be great, I hope.
Yeah.
You were saying you went to the opening game against NC Central.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big time response from the fans when Will Wade walked onto that court.
Yes, yeah.
I was just like,
everybody's
whoa.
putting a lot of hope onto his back.
They are. But, I've spoken to guys in the coaching ranks that know Coach Wade or seen him from afar, and they've echoed to me, they've said to me, this guy's going to win. Like, he has a winning spirit about him. And then talking to Chucky Brown and talking to some of the players that I've had the opportunity to talk to, they like him. He pushes them. He challenges them. But at the same time, he stands up and he loves his guys. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it early in the season that they are going out and they're playing for that name on the front. I think that's something that he's reiterating. But they're also playing for their coach, too. I think they love making sure that they, play at the level that he expects of them. And right now we're seeing that. So the goal is for it to continue.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Big time fingers crossed. Okay. Fast forward, the end of your NFL career. How did you and Terrence decide to not only start a construction business, but a foundation? How did this all come to be? And back in Raleigh, mind you.
So the foundation, thankfully, we're celebrating 25 years of our foundation. And while we were playing, our foundation was here in Raleigh. And
so you had already started it while you were in the NFL.
Correct. So I started it. I started it in 2000, the year after we won the Super Bowl. And my brother said it nicely. It was our foundation was found out of tragic. We lost our mom to cancer, to lymphoma, in 1996. And once I got drafted to the National Football League, I wanted to do something in honor of her name to continue her legacy and to help young kids with a parent or guardian or primary caregiver with a cancer diagnosis. And 25 years later, we're still doing that. We're still impacting the community right here in Raleigh, and as well as in St. Louis and now in Los Angeles. So we still got more work to do, but we are super excited and proud to be 25 years in, impacting our community where we live, where we work. Our business is here. Our kids go to school here. We go to church. Everything happens right here.
This is home.
This is home. So it's no greater feeling. I've caught Super Bowls. I've caught touchdowns in Super Bowls. I've won Super Bowls. I've had kids. I've gotten married. And those are all signature moments for my life. But this here, too, Holt Brothers Foundation is like our baby. This is like...
It's giving you meaning.
It's giving us a lot of meaning. It's giving us a lot of purpose. And we've been able to help and benefit and encourage a lot of families that are going through a tragic moment like cancer. And once cancer penetrates the home, it's a whole different dynamic. And Holt Brothers Foundation and our resources and who we work with, we try to provide some comfort to be able to deal with that significant impact, as best as you can.
Liz, can you talk a little bit about the mission of Holt Brothers and touch on the things that you do? Because you really primarily focus on the children of the family, and it's children who has a parent that has been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes, and so that's primarily school-age kids. Torry mentioned folks here. I'd say Wake County and Central, Eastern North Carolina, just based on oncology care here. So Torry mentioned our mission is to show up to support these kids. We like to say that we don't want cancer to win, and cancer can take so much from time, from priorities, from financial resources within a family. And we want to show up and say, hey, we see you going through this. But we know that parents and patients are getting a lot of resources when they're showing up for treatment, but their kids aren't getting the same resources. And their kids are also having an experience. It may not be the same physical experience their parent is having, but they've got big feelings about mom or dad having a cancer diagnosis. And that could be as little as, hey, the person that used to pick me up from school every day can't do that anymore for this time period because of their treatment. But those shifts in their life are so large and monumental. But in addition to showing up and helping resource them with language and education to walk through that experience, I think it's really important that Torry and Terrence also remember they were still able to have fun as kids. They still have amazing memories growing up. People still made time to make that happen. And we want to make sure that we can still make a point to have some joy and some laughter with these families as well. So we're holding both.
I've mentioned before on this podcast, I myself am a cancer survivor. I had breast cancer a few years ago, 2 years ago. So, and I have 3 children. My youngest was 10. My oldest was
Can I show you some
15.
love?
Yes, absolutely. It's a tricky situation to navigate because the cancer patient is going through so many emotions that come with the diagnosis. But to walk your children through it at the same time, it just adds such a different level and layer of difficulty. So what I want to know is first of all, I would think that you would have to base what you're doing for these children based on age.
Mm-hmm.
My kids were a little bit older, so I was able to talk to them in a more mature way.
Right.
Versus if they were younger and having to, meet that level. How do you guys meet needs based on age groups and based on needs too? Because I was blessed. I did not need like terrible treatment. I say terrible treatment. It sucked.
Yeah.
But I didn't need chemo. I did not need a mastectomy. So it could be so many different layers, but how do you navigate the whole situation with different age groups?
Yes. So number one is through partnerships. So locally, we have existing partnerships with the Duke Cancer Center. So that looks like in Wake County, Duke Raleigh Hospital, as well as the Duke Cancer Center's oncology offerings, and UNC Rex, located just down the street. Mm-hmm. And then hopes that we've started early conversations with Wake Med, who's now 4 years into oncology care. And so we're really looking to be able to grow that hospital partnership. And what that looks like is a peer empathy program, a place where kids get to come and they get to be around other kids who also have a parent or primary caregiver with a cancer diagnosis. And they're learning in age appropriate ways. So to your question, absolutely. We let each of those hospital programs, they're our partner, but they know best what works for their patient and their culture of their hospital. So they each do it a little different way, but they group the kids by ages. So primarily elementary school age kids, middle schoolers, and high schoolers, because what the high schoolers need is a little bit more of the emotional component. They have bigger fears. What a little kid needs is a little bit more education. They want to touch the things and they want to see the radiation rooms and they want to see an infusion chair. And so they're looking for someone to paint a picture that's different than the picture they've perhaps made up in their mind versus the older kids may have access to the internet and have talked to friends. They've seen a little bit more.
They can see that this could end badly.
Correct.
Yes.
And so they need heavier emotional support.
Yeah.
And the little kids need a little bit more just basic education. I always tell somebody, imagine explaining to a kindergartner who's never walked into a hospital before. You're using lasers to cure something.
Yeah.
Yep.
What they know about being sick is I'm contagious. I can't go to school. I'll share that to other people.
Yeah.
But that's not how cancer is. Or when I'm sick, I go to the doctor and I get medicine. It makes me feel better. Well, all of our cancer treatments eventually will heal you, but they don't make you feel great in the moment
Certainly
when you've done
not.
them.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's flipping all these narratives upside down in a young mind. And so younger kids need a little bit more of the tactile together.
And what Terrence and we love when we go spend time with these families at the hospitals, because they have meetings, whether they're going through chemo labs or, talking about chemo or they're going through the radiation labs. What we like about it is we're so cool enough still where we're able to dumb it down and be able to talk to kids on all levels, the 6-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, the 14-year-olds, 6-year-olds, et cetera. We're able to go down to that level and have real conversations with them about what cancer is because they now have heard it. So it's not like you have to go in and you have to mince your words. We can have full conversation about how they feel and how their parents are feeling and how the whole dynamic of the home has changed because we once lived it. So that's where Terrence always talks about superpower. That's where our superpower is with our foundation is that we actually lived it and we are very forthcoming in terms of what our experience was like to better try to help that child or that parent be able to cope with it.
And kids want you to talk to them
Absolutely.
Not in a dumbed down
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
They want straight up facts.
Absolutely.
Just, and I do know that it gets tricky based on age and everything, but no matter the age, they want to know the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And we try to provide that. And not only us, the folks, the oncologists, the folks at the hospital that are working with them are very honest and upfront with them. So the partnership, as Liz mentioned, is a good partnership. I think their strengths are not our strengths. Our strengths are maybe not theirs, but collectively, we work beautifully together to provide. More important, the goal is to provide those families a safe place, somewhere that they can go and feel seen, and also feel supported. That they can, kids can accomplish anything that they want to accomplish. Though their parent or primary caregiver has a cancer diagnosis, we're helping along with our partners to provide those tools for them.
Let's go back to when your mom was diagnosed. How old were you and Terrence?
Yeah, we were, I was 10 years old. Terrence was 6. My sister was 14. So we were young.
Okay.
We was mad young. And we didn't have a program like Kids Can. We didn't have a foundation in existence anywhere in our neighborhood that took us in and helped us, to be able to better cope with it. So a lot of our anxieties and fears and frustration, we had to suppress and had to deal with it along. Or my brother and I and our sister, we would talk about it, but we didn't really know much about what we were talking about. And I feel like
things used to be different too. Like we've come a long way in terms of mental health and emotional well-being, and we're more in tune that we need to foster the mental health side of children as well. Like back when we were kids, it was just kind of like, y'all just hush and be quiet. And
Yep. And you did what you were told.
Yes.
And they were in there.
And you don't want to talk about, your parents didn't want you to talk about things publicly. You kind of keep things private.
Kept things private. You couldn't take it outside the home.
Yeah.
And our grandmother and our pops and uncles, they were trying to protect us by not telling us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it left us kind of in the dark, like what's really going on? But as we got older, you learn more about the stories and why they were doing it. And I understand that. But at the same time, who knows how, and Terrence and I and my sister, we always say this, who knows how we would have been as kids? We would have been better kids. We would have, I don't know what, not that we were bad kids, but we don't know how we would have dealt with it being that we would have had the education that we're providing with these kids.
How your journey would have been
how our journey would have been.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was challenging, but we had a loving family that would come and support and take care of Mom. And they allowed us to go to school and play sports. So I mentioned anxieties and fears that I was dealing with. Luckily, I had sports. I had an outlet. Some of these kids that we talk to and we're dealing with don't have any outlets.
That's huge, yeah.
So we encourage them to find outlets, whether it's reading, whether it's drawing, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's sports. Try to find an outlet so you can go somewhere where you can deal with those emotions. Fortunately, we had sports, so we busted a lot of people's butts on Friday nights because of some of those fears and anxieties that we were dealing with because of how our
brought
mom
it onto the field. Yeah,
we took it onto the field, and we had that adrenaline, that frustration had to go somewhere. Fortunately, we had competition to be able to get that out of us.
And the thing that's really great about those partnerships and those hospital programs, not only are they gearing the information in age-appropriate ways, but they're putting kids together in those own age groups. So they're no longer going where at school or on the soccer field. They may be the only child they know that has a parent with cancer. When they walk into one of our Kids Can events at one of our hospital partners, they know that they're not the only kid. Every kid has those same things. So it gives a little bit more space for those other things about their personality, those other interests to surface, because that's now not the marker that they've walked into that space with. And those partnerships, though, that work is done by trained child life specialists who are amazing at what they do, many of which have been doing this work in oncology care for a long time. And it's a growing field because I think people are seeing that this is an important component to their care, thinking about a patient's care holistically as a family.
Yeah, because I always say a mother is as happy as her saddest child. So when you're carrying around not only your own diagnosis and the things that you're going through, but you're also carrying around how your children are affected by this, it does add another layer of difficulty to the whole situation.
Wake Forest, we're here, fast, fair, and nonsense-free. This is a Ting town, a real, reliable 100% fiber network built for how you live and work, with no buffering, surprise fees, or games. We've offered honest pricing, no contracts, no bundles, and friendly support since 2020. And we still are, with steady monthly rates for internet and truly unlimited mobile. Because internet should just work. Check your address at ting.com/Wake Forest. Ting Internet, on your side.
The holidays are here, and nothing says joy like fresh, beautiful flowers from Preston Flowers. Whether you're decorating the table, sending a heartfelt gift, or just spreading a little cheer, Preston Flowers makes it easy to make the season bright. Call 919-460-4625 or visit PrestonFlowers.com to order today. That's 919-460-4625 or PrestonFlowers.com. Delivering holiday happiness one bouquet at a time.
Here, wild horses roam windswept beaches, and the ocean stretches endlessly before you. Each sunrise brings a new adventure. Each breeze carries the salt and serenity of the sea. Climb our historic Red Brick Lighthouse. Savor fresh seafood and North Carolina barbecue. This is more than a vacation. It's a place that renews your spirit and keeps calling you back. Where in the Outer Banks? Only in the Northern Outer Banks.
TheNorthernOuterBanks.com.
There are a couple of components to the foundation.
Yes.
You mentioned Kids Can. Talk to us about the different areas that you guys kind of cover. And I see you have a book with you today
I brought
as
that.
well.
I'm going to leave this with you too.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
I
these
love
are
Great
for
book.
you.
Great book.
For you
Nice.
to keep. So
Okay.
Kids Can would be that in-person programming offered here for folks being treated through Duke or UNC Rex, and then hopefully soon enough through Wake Med. And then newly launched, this is a longer conversation for a different day, but a really good example of how a little seed can become a whole new thing. This book is part of our brand new program we launched this summer called called Kickoff to Courage. But the book is called A Kid's Book About Cancer. And when talking about language that's available to kids and adults, I'd say at every age, we love this book. We think it's a great tool.
Yeah.
I share it with other adults who have been recently diagnosed, who are overwhelmed by all the information that is being shared with them. But it's really simple text and really simple words. And these books are available through all of those hospital partners, whether or not a family participates in the Kids Can program, and are recently now available to families across the country, free of charge
Nice.
through our updated website. So we've got them in hospital partners from Charlotte to the coast. Right now, if anyone listening has a connection to somebody providing oncology care here in North Carolina or other places, would love to connect. I just sent 10 to Atlanta Cancer Centers
Oh, great.
last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
We provided 100 copies of them to an event UNC Lineberger Center did. So they're getting out into the community. And it really, we say, is we're taking something families do together, right? Story time. And we're giving them words and resources. So it's a book meant for parents and their children to read together.
Perfect.
And then we've got a fun tote bag for you, because every book
Nice.
needs a fun
Yes.
tote bag with our
Love
Kickoff to
it.
Courage label there. And then we have a good time using the football plays on words.
Yes,
I
of
like
course.
to get creative with that too.
And I was going to say too, Melissa, and to follow what Liz was saying, this book is ages 5+, and it speaks of fear, it speaks of unknown, it speaks of illness, it speaks of the courage that it takes for kids and families to be able to deal and get through a diagnosis. So I've read this book several times, and
Good.
I think it's one of the it's amazing, just how the simplicity of it, but the impact once you finish it, it will uplift and change the dynamics of a home.
And I wouldn't be doing my job if I forgot to mention a $25 donation monthly or one time helps us provide a copy of this book free of charge
Great.
to
Yes.
families. And we've got a recurring donor giving level It's $50. And what then happens is there's a really beautiful label that gets put inside this book that tells a little bit more about the foundation, work we're doing. There's a note card that goes along with it with a little note from us about how we think the book could be used in your family. And then there's a place for the donor's name. So we're able to put that donor information in there too. And then when families open them up, they can hang on to it or they can use it and they can share it to other families when they may find somebody in their life that finds themselves in this situation. I always say, I think the best referral for what it is that we're doing is other people who are listening like today and hearing what we're doing, but are there as an additional resource when their friends find themselves in this position of having a cancer diagnosis.
Yeah, that's very true because it is so overwhelming. You're getting so much information thrown at you all at once and your brain just kind of shuts down. It's just a fog and not a lot's getting in. So it does help to have friends just say, hey, I heard about this foundation. Do you mind if I look into it for you? Tell us the steps though.
Yes. So KidsCan is a self-referral program. So you can mention it at an oncology visit with any of your providers at any of those local hospital partnerships, or you can reach out to a social worker or ask for a referral to the child life specialist.
And then they get in touch with you.
They get in touch with you. I'd say all of those programs do a one-on-one intake. They want to find out a little bit more about how is it already going talking to your kids? And there's a whole spectrum of my kids know from the moment of diagnosis to I'm 6 weeks into this and I haven't told them yet and I start chemo next week and now it's time to have that conversation.
Navigating all the tricky talks. Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing, but it is true that I have found that kids just want to be told the truth and rip off the Band-Aid, but you have to be mindful about how you word things. You opened the book briefly and you opened it to a page that said, here are some facts about cancer and, some things that are true and some things that are not, because learning what is not true is just as important.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of nonsense out here.
Yeah.
And, now kids have their phones and access to it at any time that they want now. So we are very conscious, and even working with the hospitals, they are too, of making sure that the kids are provided the right information about cancer.
That's very important.
That's very important. And the thing about this book, what I love, the siblings, it's good to see the siblings sitting down and reading to each other and having conversations about what cancer is. To me, that's probably the highlight of when we go to those meetings or when we spend time with the families, because now kids are having conversations about what the cancer diagnosis is. And I just think that it just lights me up, gives me more energy, more enthusiasm, and lets us know that we're on the right pace, we're doing the right thing, we're impacting the right way.
And I've got to say, what an incredible, meaningful way to represent your mother.
Thank you.
mean, I'll try not to get upset, but it's very touching, and I'm sure she would be incredibly proud, to say the least.
Thank you. Yeah. I get chills every time we get an opportunity to do an interview like this, and we get a chance to talk about the foundation and the families that we're helping and the relationships that we're building with those families and those kids. I get chills too. I mean, like I said, I've had an opportunity to do some amazing things in my life, but this work that we're doing and spending time with the families is certainly the most meaningful work I've ever done.
So if you could go back and talk to your younger self, say NC State self, before heading to the NFL, what kind of advice would you give to yourself? Whether it's, about the foundation or about life in general, you're talking to younger Torry. What would you like to say to him?
I would have said to younger Torry, I would have taken my education a lot more seriously than what I did.
Say that one more time for my senior in high school.
I would have taken my education a lot more seriously than what I did. I was under the mindset that I would get to where I wanted to get to just because I was a good athlete. Nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
It was just about when is the next game? When is the next competition? That was all I wanted to know. I would have said, do that. Have that same zest for sport. Have it for your academics too.
Yeah.
I would have been even more deadlier, I think, had I would have taken my academics a lot more seriously. Now that I'm older, I've certainly have caught up, and I've got a lot more work to do in terms of my education, but that's what I would say to my younger self. Younger self, take advantage and responsibilities of your academics. That takes you way further than anything you could possibly imagine.
Because football is only going to last but so long.
It's only going to last for so long. The body can only take but so much punishment.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
at some point, you got to walk away from the game. Well, I have my education, I have my relationships, I have my diploma, et cetera. I can do anything now beyond the game of football because I've educated myself the right way.
Okay, Liz, how can people get involved with Holt Brothers Foundation, not just today on Giving Tuesday, but in general? You mentioned the book and the $25 and ongoing donations.
Yep.
What
so
else?
Our recurring giving programs called Season Pass Holder. Again, that nod to sports and football. So there are a variety of giving levels there. And all that information is available on our website, which is holtbrothersfoundation.org/donate. And it breaks down what gifts of certain amounts would go to or contribute to. If they belong to a corporation that's looking for community involvement, we do what I think is one of the most fun events happening here in the Triangle. It's our event called Ultimate Game Day.
Yes.
It's March 21st this coming year. So information about that's available on our website and on our socials as well. But it's a corporate flag football tournament competition.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of
And
fun.
we hold
Lot
it
of
out
fun.
at the practice facilities out at NC State. So
Oh,
you're getting
neat.
to play on the
Okay.
same fields that the team plays on, which is really cool. We take over that parking lot adjacent to the indoor facility, turn that into a really incredible tailgate competition. And we're adding some new components this year for a team that wants to get in on the competition a little bit more, but doesn't quite want to play flag football. But we, Torry and Terrence, invite friends who've played in the league to come join us for that event as celebrity coaches. It's a really great event. We had over 1,000 people just out there participating last year. We're looking to level that up for this year.
So where can we find out more information about that?
Yep. So that would be on our website, holtbrothersfoundation.org, and it's /events.
Okay.
And it's so cool. I get Terrence and I both get a kick out of watching engineers run slant routes.
And they're serious about it, too.
I do think that every man in their mind could have played in the NFL. You know,
In their
they
mind.
really feel like they could have.
But
So this is their way to prove that
That's
actually
right.
they could not have.
Oh, man, we see it all.
co-ed though, so
Yeah.
I'm out here trying to recruit all
Okay.
the women who also want to play
And they
flag
can,
football.
and the women, they can get down. And
They get very serious.
flag football has grown tremendously
Yes,
amongst our
you're
women.
right.
And
Yes.
they are playing it, and they're playing it at a high level. They understand it. They take it seriously. They appreciate the craft. So it's really cool to watch our women get involved with our flag football tournament. But yeah, like Liz said, it's co-ed. It's, it's architects, it's engineers. It's all different walks of life of folks that are out there competing at a flag football tournament and a little bit of cornhole. So we have and then the tailgate competition. So it's a full day, but it's an exciting day, all for a great cause, bringing awareness to our foundation, uplifting our community, and giving these kids and these families an opportunity to succeed and be better, be good beyond the diagnosis.
And I love that you and your brother incorporate your love of football into the foundation and into everything you do, because it's clear that you still really love talking about football, probably playing football. Yeah. Well, it's still in your blood.
It is. It's still in our blood. And look, and my brother, Terrence, who's not with us today, but he's fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better brother, a better friend, a better business partner. He is an amazing guy. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. I look up to him. He's the little brother, but I look up to him because of the things how he leads his life. And when we were young, he was the one that would always run around and be like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be this. And I was, again, I'm playing ball.
Yeah.
He was always into his books. He and my sister both, they were always into their books, really did well with their education. So I have a tremendous amount of respect and love for my brother. Again, I couldn't ask for a better partner. And we together past 25 years have been right there with each other through thick and thin. And man, we couldn't be more excited about where we are, nonprofit as well as with our for-profit in the construction company now.
That's really sweet. I mean, because it's also, people always say don't work with family.
Yeah.
But you see
I
that
think they're the exception.
My mom and dad, God bless my mom's heart. She didn't play that. Like, she didn't let us, like, if we got into confrontations, yes, we did that, but it didn't last long because she didn't play and didn't tolerate us going at each other and disrespecting each other in a way. She always believed that, you can't live in this household and think that you can talk to your brother and sister and your parents
Yeah.
a certain way, and then you leave the home, and then you all of a sudden you this great person, and you talking lovely to everyone. She didn't believe in that. She
Okay.
believed that yes, y'all gonna have your run-ins, but there's a level of respect that you're gonna have for
Yeah,
each
and
other.
family first.
Family first, and you guys do things together. Y'all spend time together. You treat each other the right way, and that's how we try to live our lives. He and I, as well as our sister, we treat our sister the same way with respect, dignity, respect, and love. And and that's how we was raised. And we try to teach our kids.
I was about to
our
say.
own kids the same way, as well as our kids that are in those programs. We have the same conversations with them as well.
Great. Come and talk to my kids.
No
I
doubt.
think they're pretty good. I mean, they'll squabble a little bit, but at least they have each other's backs.
No doubt about it.
No, they're doing a great job raising these kids to also do the same. I think y'all were just out for a walk together as a family.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I come from my friends joke, I come from a high touch family, a family that keeps in touch throughout the day, does a lot together. Yeah. They're like 10 times.
Yeah, we do good. My wife and I been, I met her in college. We've been married now 24 years now, and got 3 kids. Braden, my oldest, he went to NC State. He's a civil engineer. He works with McAdams. My daughter Torry, she'll be graduating in December from NC
Also
State.
from state. Okay. Yeah.
And then my youngest daughter Brooklyn is at NC State as well.
Wow.
And she'll be graduating in the spring of 2026. So to
Talk
Liz's
about
point,
a family legacy.
yeah, family legacy at NC State. We all hang together. We all kick it. We go to concerts together, dinner together. So it's
Games, I'm sure.
games together. Yeah. So my wife and I laugh. We feel like the real flex is that they still like to hang out with us and chill with
Yeah.
us. So to us, that's the real flex.
I mean, they've got Torry Holt as a dad. You can't get much cooler than
No
that.
doubt.
So, well, thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
I always say that I'm excited about my guests, but I was truly excited to have you guys here today. I love spreading good news and sharing people who are doing good things in the Triangle, and you guys have been at the top of my list.
Thank you.
So
man.
thank you.
Thanks for allowing us to
appreciate
come here,
it.
Melissa. We appreciate it. Thanks
Absolutely.
for allowing us to share our message
Yes,
to the
and
audience.
thank you for my book and my tote.
No doubt.
Of course. Well, and if you know of anyone else who needs one, you know where to send them.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so
No doubt.
much.
Thank
Thank you.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to What's Up Wake with Melissa Wistahuff, presented by the publishers of Carey Magazine, Wake Living, and Main and Broad. Follow them on social media at Carey Magazine NC, at MB Magazine NC, and at Wake Living Magazine. Visit each magazine's website at careymagazine.com, mainandbroadmag.com, and wakeliving.com to check out the latest digital edition of each magazine and find pickup locations. Be sure to subscribe and leave a 5-star review to help others find us. Music provided by Angie Bagley and Chris Bagley. This show is produced by Podcast Carey.